everyone. My name is Neeraj Bassi, and the topic of my presentation is hotel booking analysis. The points to discuss in the presentation are as follows. First, we will discuss the agenda of the presentation. Then we will see the data summary of the given data set. Then we have divided our analysis into different parts. The first one of them is univariate analysis. Then we will see the hotel-wise analysis, where we have compared the different types of hotels on the basis of their features. Then we have done the distribution channel-wise analysis, where we have compared different distribution channels for booking of hotels. Then the booking cancellation analysis, where we have tried to answer what are the difference between the cancelled and the non-cancelled transactions, and what could be the reasons for the cancelled transactions. Then we have done the time-wise analysis, where we have tried to understand the behavior and the number of bookings and behavior of other features along the time. Then we have answered some important questions for the analysis. And finally, there is a correlation heat map, which shows the correlation between the columns or variables of the given data set. And then finally, we will conclude the presentation. So first is, what is agenda? The agenda is to discuss the analysis of the given hotel bookings data set from 2015 to 2017. To make our analysis easy, we have divided it into parts. First one is univariate analysis, where we have seen the behavior of some crucial variables or columns of the given data set independently. Then these remaining four are the parts of the multivariate analysis. The first one is hotel-wise analysis, comparing different types of hotels on different features. Then distribution channel-wise analysis, comparing different distribution channels on the basis of different features. Then booking cancellation analysis, trying to figure out what could be the reasons for the cancelled transactions on the basis of difference in features of cancelled and non-cancelled transactions. And then finally, time-wise analysis to see the behavior and number of bookings changed along the time. So first, what is the data summary? Given data set has different columns of variables crucial for hotel bookings. Some of them are mentioned here. All of them are self-explanatory. Some are important, like lead time. Lead time is the time between reservation and actual arrival in days. Then remaining ones are self-explanatory. Here, some more columns are market segment, which shows the purpose of the reservation and how the reservation was made. For example, for corporate trip, it has value of corporate. Then the distribution channel means the medium through which booking was made. This can be either direct, corporate, travel agency, GDS, or notified. And the remaining are receive repeated guest, days in waiting list, customer type. These are self-explanatory. Here is the data summary of different data types on the basis of data columns. So here is the univariate analysis, where we have tried to see the behavior of single variables independently and answer the following questions. First, which agent made most of bookings? Which room type is in most demand, and which room type generates highest area? From which country most of the customers are coming? What is the most preferred meal customers? So here we have plotted the graph of different room types and the number of bookings made for that room type. So here we can see that type A room has the longest part. This shows that over 40,000 bookings were made with preferred choice of type A, and type A room type is most demanded by customers. Here we have plotted the graph of the different types of rooms versus the ADR range of that room type. So here the room type C, G, and H have the higher ADR, and their mean ADR is higher compared to the different data types, different room types. And then to answer the which agent has made the higher number of bookings, here we have plotted the count plot of the different agent types, different agent IDs. So we can see that agent ID with agent ID number 9 has made most of the bookings. To understand the country of origins of the different customers, we have plotted the graph of the country, and we see that most of the customers come from European countries with a higher number in the Portugal, followed by Great Britain, then France and Spain. The most preferred type is BB, which stands for bed and breakfast. We can see here in the graph that the most number of bookings had the BB type of meal. Fine. And then we have done the hotel-wise analysis where we have compared the different type of hotels on the basis of their features. And we have answered the following questions. First, percentage of bookings in each hotels. How much bookings were made for each hotel? Second, which hotel makes more revenue? Which hotel, the hotel generally charging the higher ADR will make the higher revenue. Third, which hotel has higher lead time? What is the most preferred stay length in each hotel? For which hotel does people have to wait longer to get a booking confirmed? Which hotel has a higher booking cancellation rate? And which hotel have higher and how much customer returning rate? So here are the different graphs for the questions of the hotel-wise analysis. First, we have plotted the booking percentage of each hotel. And we can see that for city hotel, almost 60% of bookings were made and almost 40% of bookings were made for resort hotel. Here we have plotted the average ADR versus the different hotel types. And we have seen that for city hotel, the average ADR is above 100 and slightly more than that of a resort hotel. Then we have plotted the graph of the hotel type versus the median lead time. Here we can see that the bar of the city hotel is slightly longer than that of a resort hotel. We can also see that for both of the hotels, the median lead time is quite high. It is more than 40 days. So we can say that the most of the time customers plan their journey way ahead of the arrival time. Then to understand the waiting period of each city hotel, we have plotted their graph, and we see that city hotel has a higher waiting period than compared of the resort hotel. And this is understandable because the number of bookings in city hotels are way higher than that of resort hotel. So people would generally have to wait longer to get a booking confirmed. Then we have plotted the total stay length graph, and we see that most of the time customers prefer to stay less than 5 days in hotels, and very few customers stay for longer periods, and the customers who stay for longer period has preferred the resort hotel always. The cancel percentage is also quite high for both of the hotels. For city hotel, it is around 30%, and for resort hotel, it is around 25%. We will see ahead in the presentation that what could be the reasons for such a high cancel percentage. Then we have plotted the graph of repeat percentage. Repeat percentage represents the percentage of the customers return to that hotel again after a booking. So here we see that city hotel has a very low repeat percentage. Most of its customers does not return for another stay in that hotel. For resort hotel, it is also low, but slightly more than that of city hotel. Now we have done the analysis on distribution channel wise, where we have compared the different distribution channel wise, different distribution channels on the basis of different features of them. And we have answered the following question: which is the most common channel for booking hotels? Which channel is mostly used for early booking of hotels? Which distribution channel brings better revenue generating deals for hotels? Here we can see that the most preferred way of booking hotels is TA, the travel agency or travel operators, whether online or offline, followed by the direct method where customers directly contact the hotel for making a reservation. Since TA or TO has the higher portion in the market, hence people generally use the TA or TO operators for planning their journey ahead of time. Now here we have compared the different distribution channels on the basis of the average ADR, and we can see that the GDS channel brings higher revenue generating deals for city hotel, and contrast to that of bookings via travel agencies or travel operators. City hotels can work to increase outreach in GDS channels to get more higher revenue generating deals, because the higher the bar, the higher the reach of hotel in the GDS, the better the revenue they can generate. Resort hotel has more revenue generating deals, direct and TL channel. Resort hotel need to increase outreach on GDS channel to increase revenue. Here we can see for resort hotel, the longer graph is in direct or the travel agency, and resort hotel have should increase its outreach in the GDS domain. Now we have done the booking cancellation analysis and try to understand what could be the reasons for cancelled bookings. And we have answered the following question: which significant distribution channel has highest cancellation percentage? Is longer lead time could be the reason for booking cancellation, or longer time in waiting list could be the reason for booking cancellation. Not getting same room as reserved can also be a reason for booking cancellation. So we will see that. Does not getting same room as reserved affects ADR or? So here we have plotted the graph of different distribution channel along with the cancel percentage, and we see that the travel agencies has the highest cancel percentage of about 30%. Here then we have seen that whether not getting the same room as reserved causes the cancellation or not, but we see that that is not the case, because a significant percentage of bookings are not cancelled even after getting the different room as demanded. Here we can see that for bookings that are not cancelled, the same room not allotted percentage is higher than that of the booking cancelled. Hence, this shows that the bookings that were cancelled could be of other reason also. The customers who didn't got some same room have paid a little lower ADR except for few exceptions. Here we can see for the customers who did not get who got the same room have higher ADR, have paid the higher ADR as compared to the customers who did not get the same. So, so not getting same room may not be the reason for booking cancellation, but it causes ADR to decrease. Then we have compared whether days in waiting list or the lead time affect the cancellation. But seeing the graph, since the graph behavior is almost similar in both the cases, we can say that the waiting period has no effect on cancellation of bookings. Similarly, lead time has no effect on cancellation of bookings, because both the waiting period and for the lead time has similar graph, and most of the bookings lie on the shorter region of the waiting list and the lead time. Now, finally, we have done the time-wise analysis where we have tried to understand how the number of bookings or the demand of the hotels varies along the time, and answer the following questions. What are the most busy months for hotels? In which months hotels charges highest ADR? How does booking numbers and ADR changes within a month? How does booking varies along year for different types of customers? Here we can see that the number of guests increases in month of July and August, and for rest of the year it is quite low. But as we see earlier, the city hotel has higher bookings than that of the resort. In case of ADR, the ADR also rises in month of July and August, but for resort hotel, there is a sudden rise, even more than that of city hotel. Now we have seen how, now we have saw here how the arrival number or the average ADR varies within a month. Here we can see that there are regular drop downs in the arrival number within a month. This can be due to the weekdays or weekends. Similarly, here we have seen that average ADR rises as the month ends, with quite ups and downs within a month. Now, we have plotted a graph of arrival number to the months of the year, but we have divided the plots into different customer types, where the different customer types we have considered as single, one-person guest, couple, two-person guest, and family, more than two-person guest. So here we have seen that most of the bookings were done by couples. followed by single people and then family. And in month of July, August, there is a sudden rise in the number of couples and families coming to the hotels, and there is a sudden dip in the number of single people coming as a guest to the hotels. So hospitals can plan accordingly in these months to increase the area or revenue. Now we have answered some important questions of analysis. First, what are the different reasons for special request? What is the optimal stay length for better deal for customer? How ADR is affected by total staying period in hotels? So reasons for special request could be the type of customers that we are getting. If there are kids in customers, then there is a slightly more higher special requests compared to when there were no kids. And similarly, the number of guests, adult guests in the customers affects how the special request changes. Similarly, here is the total number of special requests versus the different distribution channel. Finally, we have here plotted the correlation heat map, which shows the correlation between different variables or columns of the given data set. Here we can see that the total stay has slightly positive correlation to the lead time, which means that the total stay, this means that for longer hotel stays, people generally plan little before the actual arrival. The longer their stay in the hotel, the before they decide they plan their visit to the hotel. There is also a slight positive correlation between total number of people and area, which is quite understandable, as the more number of people in the group, the more service has to be delivered, and therefore the more ADR we will charge. Now we have seen here how the optimal stay length is important for better deals in ADR. For shorter stays, the ADR, average daily rate, varies greatly. Here we can see in the graph, for shorter total stay length, the ADR ranges from very close to 0 to up to 400 and 500. But as the total stay increases, the range of ADR decreases and it stays below 200. Hence, the optimal stay length could be more than 15 days to get a better deal in ADR. Finally, on the conclusion, we have seen that 60% of bookings are for city hotels and 40% of bookings are for resort hotel. Therefore, city hotel is busier than resort hotel. And also the overall ADR of city hotel is slightly higher than resort hotel. Most guests stay for less than 5 days, and for longer stay, people prefer resort hotel. Both hotels have significantly higher booking cancellation rates, and very few guests, less than 3%, return for another booking city hotel, and 5% get returned for stay in resort hotel. Also, we have seen that most of the guests came from European countries, with most number of guests coming from Portugal. Guests use a different channel for making bookings, out of which most preferred way is travel agencies or travel operators. For hotel, higher ADR deals come from GDS channel, so hotels should increase their popularity on this distribution channel. Almost 30% of bookings via travel agencies or travel operators are cancelled. We have also seen that not getting same room as reserved, longer lead time and waiting time do not affect cancellation of bookings, although different room allotment do lowers the ADR. July, August are the most busier and profitable months for both of the hotels. Within a month, ADR gradually increases as month ends, with small sudden rise on weekends. Couples are most common guests for hotels. Hence, hotels can plan services accordingly to couples' needs to increase revenue. More number of people in guests results in more number of special requests. Booking made via complementary market segment and adults have on average high number of special requests. For customers, generally the longer stays can result in better deals in terms of low ADR.